humans of the internet. I'm Elizabeth, and today is the very first wrap-up of 2015. I read 8 books in the month of January, which is really good for me since I started school this month, and so I'm going to show them to you. The first book I read was The Sea of Tranquility by Katja Millet. This was a phenomenal book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think I might have started it in December, but I know I finished it in January. And oh my gosh, it was so good. This girl, Nastya, and she has to move to a new school after something really horrible happened to her, and she meets a boy there who doesn't talk to anybody, and bad things have happened to him as well, and they are able to find each other, and it's just a really adorable story that I would recommend to anybody. The next book I read was The Secret Daughter of the Tsar by Jennifer Lamb. This book follows 3 different people. One is a maid or servant in the Imperial Court of Russia in 1912 to the Romanovs. One is a ballerina in World War II era France, and one is a woman who lives in Los Angeles in the present time, is an aspiring historian, really into Russian history, and it's just how the 3 kind of intertwine and how they're all related, and it's very, very interesting. I gave it a 4 stars. It wasn't phenomenal, but it was a really good book, and if you're into historical fiction, this is a good one to pick up. Next, I read Blankets by Craig Thompson. I do have a full review up for this book, so I'm not going to give it too much, but it is a very large graphic novel with just really, really pretty illustrations. This also takes place in the town that I live in currently, and that's pretty cool. So next I read Angus Thongs in Full Frontal Strogging by Louise Renison. This is the very first in the Confessions of Georgia Nicholson series. I have read this before, and it's just adorable, and I love these books, and I am going to be continuing them throughout the year since I own them all now. The next book I read was Saga Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is obviously a graphic novel. If you haven't heard about it, I don't know where you've been, but I don't really know how to describe it, and I haven't really seen many people describing it on BookTube, but it is a fantasy sci-fi graphic novel. It took me all of 20 minutes to read. It was really good. I don't know if I'm actually going to continue on, because while it was good, I don't particularly care about the rest of it, if that makes any sense. So maybe sometime in the future I'll buy Volume 2, but for right now I am happy with just this. And I gave this 4 stars. The next 2 books are rereads for me. I reread Shatter Me and Unravel Me by Tara Mafi. I don't have a reason for rereading these. I just really want to. I've been reading a lot of Woody Novels' fan fiction, and I'm actually getting pretty confused as to what really happened and what she wrote, so I just thought I would reread the 2 of them. I still love them. I'm still tabbing new things every time I read them, and I'm probably going to read Ignite Me next month. I am currently reading The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is a dystopian fantasy book. I am about 200 pages into it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's just taking me a bit because it is the first book in the series, so there's a lot that I have to learn about the world that it's set in, and it's just, I read a couple chapters at night before I go to bed, and it's really all I can handle at the moment. I am also still working on The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. Now that I have the last 2 books, I'm going to be trying to finish them a little more quickly since they are easy reads. I really am liking this. I'm really nervous for Annabeth. Please don't spoil me, but I hope it ends well. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I'm doing on my 2015 reading challenge. The books I read in January satisfied a book that became a movie, so the Angus Songs and Perfect Snogging. A book set somewhere you've always wanted to visit. I used The Secret Daughter of the Tsar. I've wanted to go to Russia and France. And we've got a graphic novel, which I first used Blankets, but now I'm using Saga. A book that takes place in your hometown, Blankets. then I did double up a book based on a true story for blankets, but I really don't want to be doubling up, so I might try and find another book for that. And then a book set in high school, I used The Sea of Tranquility because even though it is an adult novel, it is still set in high school. So that's what I read in January. I'm not going to be doing a TBR because, you know, I don't stick to TBRs ever. I just say I'm going to read things and then read whatever the fuck I want. But let me know how you guys did in January, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!